Edge is back in the WWE. No, I can't really believe it either. Probably because 24 hours after he did return, Randy Orton basically killed him in the middle of the ring. And in terms of kayfabe, that is actually true. You have a man whose neck is basically hanging by a thread, and then another man takes said neck and smashes it with 2 chairs. If this was real, that man is not surviving. It does, of course, open the door for many surprises, and one of those, I'm keeping everything crossed for, is that Christian Cage, also known as Christian, makes his way back to Raw or SmackDown, or wherever the hell you want to do the angle, and gets involved in all of this. And given some recent news, well, this may actually be true. So, Christian is coming back to WWE. Why? Pure. Here's why. Now, this could be opening the fantasy book just a little bit too much, but earlier this month, WWE did file a brand new trademark for the name Christian, unless they're going against the church, which you wouldn't put past WWE. They've done crazier things. This is referring to Edge's fake brother, and I hope it means something is afoot. And straight away you're going to go, no, it's because he's part of the WWE backstage team, and you could be right, but that is boring. I don't want to talk about boring. There's also an opportunity here that I don't think WWE wants to miss. It's like this close, and it's smacking you in the face like a bee. Because the coolest thing on Raw ever since Edge did get injured is how Randy Orton has been handling proceedings. I mean, recently we had Matt Hardy, of all people, get in his face like, what is wrong with you, you sociopath? And Randy Orton basically killed him as well, and that made me feel even more emotion. So you've got to imagine there's still a few weeks before the Rated R superstar does come back to Raw, and until then, you've got to keep coming up with good ideas and good concepts to make this work, and that's when you grab Christian from on the shelf and you bring him back into the mix. The best scenario of all of these is, of course, that he gets cleared for in-ring competition. Because if you don't know, Jay Riso, or technically William Riso, if you want to go off his birth certificate name, had to retire from wrestling because of multiple concussions. Now, straight away, we look at Daniel Bryan, and remember, anything is possible, because if he can do it, so can Christian. So if there is a workaround here, for all the shock and awe you were able to achieve with Edge, well, I think you'd be able to double it, or at least do it again, if all of a sudden Christian is here. You'd have to make sure people were aware of the health issues that he suffered, but just think of the heat it would give to the Viper. And it's not like he starves of heat already, is it? He's so much of a bad guy at the moment, I can't imagine him ever going back face. I mean, who's going to forgive him? You? If so, you're an asshole. Or potentially a family member of Randy Orton. It could even be the reason that Edge finally comes back to TV, because his friend of over 20 years is about to succumb to the man who hears voices in his head. But even when you jump outside of that, who did Christian have his best feud with in WWE? If you're not saying Randy Orton right now, you're not following my train of thought. Not only was it great, but Christian won the damn World Heavyweight Championship from Orton after Randy had booted him in the balls. And yes, that was the stipulation of that match. If Randy Orton got himself disqualified, he would lose his belt. And Randy Orton is such a crazy person, he decided, I would rather cause this man pain in his dick than be one of the most important wrestlers in this company. And that's why really Randy Orton is a very good character. He's sanely crazy. That aside, they had some really good encounters, and I remember them fondly. So if you can somehow tap into this, meaning not only do you get Randy Orton versus Edge, but you also get Randy Orton versus Christian with the right storytelling and the right narrative, prowess and structure, that to me can last all of 2020. And I mean that, you could do it for the damn year. You could even tell Triple H to get back in the ring and start doing tag team matches between the reformed Edge and Christian and Randy Orton and Triple H. And the only reason I say Triple H is because who else has Randy Orton got in his past you're actually gonna get? Cody Rhodes? No. Ted DiBiase? No. Rey Mysterio? Too much of a baby face. Sheamus? That one actually does work, but they only teamed for a little while. And I don't think anybody would care, although he is a super good heel, and those two together may work. You can do Bray Wyatt too, but he's the Fiend. That ain't gonna fly. I don't think that is gonna happen with Triple H. I'm just saying, if you want to prolong it even more, and you can put Edge and Christian back together as a team, and then have them go against Randy Orton and a partner of his choosing, maybe the Big Show, that'll do. You can call them RK Show. Oh my gosh, I think that was actually a thing at one point. The point being, then you could probably even get to WrestleMania in 2021. I know that sounds crazy, but I believe it. And failing that, just get the darn Dudley Boys back. I mean, Devon is already backstage being a producer/agent. Call Bubba Ray and say, Bubba, get your ass here. He'd probably come. And even if you can't go full in with it, just having Christian associated with the plot would make it far more interesting. I mean, put your hand up now if you truly believe that you see Christian being inserted into this and you would go, well, that's made this really bad. You wouldn't, because it's impossible. It just seems so obvious to me, and that's why I'm hoping that's what all this trademark filing is all about. It's one thing to have him on WWE backstage on FS1, but if he is going to come back to Raw, then you've got merchandising opportunities. And when you have merchandising opportunities, you need to make sure his name is protected so that everyone can make bundles of cash. This is me holding my bundle of cash like I'm Santa Claus. It's one of those situations that makes all the sense in the world, and when you get to a point where something makes all the sense in the world, you pull out your sense gun and you pull the trigger. I don't mind if he doesn't want to get into it, that's completely different. If Christian is like, I don't want to go anywhere near this, I'm quite happy just being a pundit, then more power to him. Although the darker side of my brain says, no, screw that, just push him in front of a camera and then he's got no choice. But also, from a storyline perspective, I want to know what Christian thinks about this. Edge and Christian may be fake brothers in WWE, but their bond in real life is basically a brotherhood. Surely he must be super mad. So basically, if you haven't figured it out already, yes, I just really, really like Christian. He was one of these guys I was just instinctively drawn to, even though everybody else seemed to go after his partner. It was the same with Matt and Jeff Hardy. Everybody loved Jeff Hardy, and I could understand why, but Matt was just so much more intriguing to me, and I wanted to see what he was going to do. And those two guys have kind of had parallel careers. They should have been pushed more, and they should have been given better world title runs. I mean, Matt Hardy never even got one, apart from the ECW Championship, but we don't count it. And talking about those two being quite similar, maybe that's what the trademark is all about. Matt Hardy is going to AEW to lead the Dark Order, and Christian is going to go too. So WWE is like, well, we don't want him using the name Christian over there. We need to tie it down. I mean, that's just me ranting and raving. I don't think that's going to happen. I've gone well off the plot, but there I've said it. So yeah, it may happen, it may not happen. That one guy in the comments has already gone, what do you mean returning to WWE? He's already back because I saw him on FS1 the other day. But I ignore that guy. That guy is just going to get mad at everything, and he's really, really bad for my health. But from a narrative perspective, we should do everything we can to get the creepy bastard back. And I only called him the creepy bastard because that is what Stone Cold Steve Austin referred to him once, and it made me laugh for around about an hour. It just made no sense. Also, if you would like some other background information on Christian, he's kind of the reason we had the what chance by the Rattlesnake in the first place, because he was good friends with Christian and he rang him up and he got his voicemail because Steve Austin's a bit nuts. He just said, as I leave this voicemail, I'm going to repeat everything that I say twice, and I'm going to say what in between. So he said, I'm riding down the highway. What? I said, I'm riding down the highway. Christian probably went, that was quite funny. The what chants appear on TV, and here I stand in 2020, and some events still have the what chants. Bailey was getting what chanted the other day on SmackDown, and Stone Cold Steve Austin has been on that show for approximately 37.5 years. So let's not look a gift horse in a mouth. Let's do everything we can to ensure that Christian is in whatever fashion involved in this match, even if he's just ringside at WrestleMania 36. The bond they have, the love they have, the relationship they share, I want to see it on the screen, and I want to see it all washed onto my face. And I regret doing that because it always sounds a bit just bizarre. But as you can probably tell, this is what I want. Let's stretch it off. Let's all calm down. But Christian, get your ass back in WWE. WWE, do whatever you can to get Christian back involved in this Edge storyline. That's what I want. Look, I am just standing here all forlorn now because I'm upset. It hasn't happened yet. Has it happened yet? No? Why not? Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about Christian returning to the WWE. Do you want it? Do you not want it? Because you're a bit all over the place. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to What Culture Wrestling. Then make sure you go to whatculture.com where you can read more articles. Make sure you follow What Culture on Twitter, What Culture WWE. And make sure you watch more videos here. Look at it. The trees, the loveliness on What Culture Wrestling videos. My name is Simon for What Culture. Thank you for watching. As always, I take my hand, slap my head and ask the question why. Well, actually, it's not really ask, is it? I just say the statement as to why. But look, I don't know how long Edge's run is going to be. The rumor is he has a 3-year contract and he's contracted for a certain amount of dates. But surely one of these stories has to have Christian in it. How can you not? A huge part of Edge's career featured Christian, and I want to see Christian back on television. It was great, he had that great music that went, Christian! Christian! I can't do that, it's way too high, and the gold would come down. He just never used correctly. He was never used correctly, so in 2020, I want him to use correctly. And I'm going to stand here, look, I'm getting all comfortable, I'm going to stand here until it happens. I mean it. I'm not going to turn the video off. What do you mean you can turn the video off? I don't care what you can do. I know my camera, I get it, yes, my camera will eventually shut down. But it's just what I want, okay? These lovely people have sat with me, or stood, I don't know how you watch YouTube videos, till the end, And I'm mad about this. I want Christian back. Why isn't he back? I do enjoy him on WWE backstage, but it's not just the same. Look, I've said my piece. I'm going to draw a line under it. Just do it, WWE. Otherwise I'm going to do this. Get close to the camera and I look even more threatening.